5, 4. Hello and welcome to the G&G podcast. My name is Gabe.
And I'm Gato.
Welcome to another episode. Thanks for joining us, all you podcasters, YouTubers, and whoever's listening, paying attention to us. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Hey, I was actually thinking about something just now.
Yeah?
I was thinking, and I don't know why I'm all giggly right now. I have literally no reason to be giggly, but I don't know why I'm laughing. So I was thinking about the previous 30 episodes that we've had and how we typically ask questions to our audience in the middle of the episode, and then sometimes at the end of the episode when we're like, okay, well, this is what we talked about, let us know your thoughts, kind of thing. And now I'm thinking maybe we should have people comment. We should ask people to comment before we start talking about our topics.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, I don't know. I don't even have questions for people right now. So, well, okay. So obviously, today we're going to be talking about some sequels, movie sequels, and why they work and why they don't work. So we'll be talking about some movies. We've picked some. Gabe picked a couple, and I picked a couple as well. But before we get started, how about you let us know what are the movies in which the sequels work and where the sequels don't work. Yeah, let us know. I generally want to see people's comments, but yeah, let us know, and then
You can join us in this conversation.
Yeah,
as you listen to
it. Sorry, that was not in the script, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't know he was gonna say that. So
yeah.
I'm all thrown off now.
That's probably why I got all giggly, because the thought just came to my mind. I'm like, wait a second, we should be asking questions before people click off.
Oh man!
Not
Just
that
as a
anybody clicks
disclaimer,
off.
I guess last night Zeke had a fever, so we were up all night just taking turns holding him. So if I'm a little delirious, that's the disclaimer.
All right.
Might seem a little weird today.
Okay, it's good to know. I always think you're weird. It's fine.
Okay, good. No one will know the difference.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we do have a couple of movies prepared. Do you wanna go first, or do you want me to?
Sequels that don't work. Easy one. Land Before Time.
It has a sequel.
They have like 10 sequels.
Is that for real?
Oh yeah, man. I remember when I was younger, because I loved Land Before Time. That was a good movie. You know, back when like animated films are like very theme based, and then you'd see on the commercials all the different Land Before Time sequels that come out. You're like, oh my gosh, it must be as good as the first one. And then the following year, another one that comes out. You're like, oh, that's another one. And then 10 years later, they're still putting out commercials about the next Land Before Time trailer.
But sequel. Isn't Land Before Time basically based on like dinosaurs dying?
You mean like that when they got
like
went extinct?
The extinction?
Nah.
Oh.
I don't even remember the first movie.
Yeah, I know I've seen it. I've seen the original, the first one. But I was very little. I don't remember a lot of it. I just remember there's a dinosaur. I think it's a Triceratops that goes yep yep yep.
Oh, Sarah. Wow, I can't believe I remember that name.
Yeah, I wouldn't remember. I just remember the yip yip yip.
Petrie and then Littlefoot. You remember that one?
I do not. There's also a chance that I might have seen this
Maybe you watched one of the sequels. One of the bad ones, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I was like 5 when I watched this. When did the movie come out?
I have no idea. Maybe in the, like the 90s, early 90s, 92 or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds
I
about
don't know.
right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was 4 or 5. Um, but wow, yeah, I didn't know they had sequels to them.
Let me see how much they actually have.
How
And
many sequels?
4 time sequels. They have about 8 sequels.
Oh, that's too many.
Yeah.
What do they even talk about in this in the movies?
I don't know. It's
When was the
Whoa,
last one
actually,
made?
wait a second. They have 14. 14 sequels.
Wow, 14.
Came out in
Um,
88. That's how old it is.
so 88 is the oldest,
Yeah, the first
and
one.
what about the newest?
Newest one, 2016. That is
Oh,
sad.
it just came out.
That's pretty sad.
This just came out. I have not seen any commercials for it, but then I don't really watch TV anymore, so
Ugh.
and I pay for YouTube Premium, so I don't really see commercials
I know it's weird. We watch Peacock now, and so they have a lot of ads, and it's just so weird to see ads.
on a streaming service.
Oh yeah, or just in general. I haven't seen ads in a long time.
I mean, I guess Hulu has them too, but Hulu has like the same 3 commercials just
Yeah, I do hate
rotating.
that.
I mean, I don't know if they're like catered to you, but I get the same 3 commercials over and over again, so it's like it doesn't really faze me. But I don't really watch Hulu that much anyway, so it's like,
No,
oh
they're
wait,
definitely catered to you.
no, I think we actually started paying for the premium one too.
Oh,
So I don't think we even get commercials there either.
lucky.
Yeah, when
Commercials
people
have
try to
just
show
gone
me
real
videos on
weird.
YouTube and an ad pops up, I'm like,
Yeah,
what is this? Like, it's so weird.
even on YouTube, yeah. Ads are just
Yeah,
getting more weird.
yeah, and
But
they're
yeah.
getting everywhere.
So yeah.
It's it's
What was your movie?
where the sequel doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot, but
Fast and
um,
Furious.
Fast and Furious are fun to watch though. They may not be like good movies or good sequels, and like it gets way out there, but I think they're just fun movies to watch. So I can't say that they're bad sequels. I'm excited for the 10th one.
I was watching like this YouTube video about how Fast Five saved the series with that the vault sequence, the
Did it?
cars, yeah. Because apparently it was a dying series, and then Fast Five just like embraced the craziness of it all, and that's why each one has just
And
been
now
really
everybody,
crazy. And
yeah.
now people are like excited for it.
That makes sense, and that's what I'm saying. Like I know that they're like now unbelievable, and if you watch the last one that came out, what is it, Fast 9 or Fast and Furious 9
Yeah,
versus the original,
it's
there you don't. There's no relation there. There,
yeah.
it's like a completely different movie, just with the same actors.
I
But
think that's where sequel actually works then, where it takes it to a new direction. I remember we were talking about Squid Game a couple of weeks ago, and I
yeah,
was hoping that they would take the second one to a new direction, rather
yeah.
than, well, I don't know if they will.
Yeah, so maybe that's why the formula worked for Fast and Furious in this case. Because I mean, even though I have my opinions as to like how unbelievable the sequels are, it's something that the movie itself, it's like it's self-aware and it
Yeah,
knows that it's ridiculous, but it's just more fun. You know, we're there to watch the action sequences, and I think people noticed that and liked it, and I think that's why it became successful. Not to say that Paul Walker's um, like death didn't also impact viewership in it.
mm, I can see that.
Paul Walker, R.I.P. But yeah, I think Fast and Furious is a sequel that actually did work. if there's a sequel that I think it didn't work, is the third installment of Ghostbusters. So, and I'm not talking about Afterlife. I mean, we can go into details and whatnot, but so we got Ghostbusters 1 and Ghostbusters 2 that came out back in what, the 80s, 90s. And then in 2016-ish, we get this all-female cast doing a reboot / continuation to Ghostbusters. And
I never watched that movie.
You never watched it? Oh yeah. So you never watched it. I wouldn't watch it. So it's interesting because when that movie was announced, it was getting a lot of hate, like from the get-go.
I remember.
And people are like, "What? All-female cast? It shouldn't work. Let male characters be male and let female characters be female." And I was like, I mean, I don't know. In my perspective, I thought, hey, this could be a new look towards this franchise, and I'm like, I'm not opposed to it. I was neutral.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I was just neutral about it. I'm like, we'll see what happens with it. I liked Kristen Wiig and
like they're funny people.
Yeah, what's her name? Kate McKinnon. I like them. I think they're super funny, and I like them.
Melissa McCarthy's
I like them
in that
on
one too, right?
Melissa McCartney. Yeah.
She's
all right. She's
good.
I feel like I like her. I like her in Bridesmaids, but I feel like she plays the same character in every movie.
That's true. That is true.
So she is a really funny person when it's original stuff, but I feel like this was a little too. Oh, it's just the same character, playing the same kind of jokes. But this movie was just awful. Like, the jokes were bad. The character development was bad. It's just everything about it was bad. And then you have Chris Hemsworth.
He's in that movie?
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth is the receptionist. So they literally inverted all the characters. So now the Ghostbusters are 4 female and the receptionist is the male. And
Did
Chris
they
Hemsworth.
Explain why they swapped, or no?
No, it just kind of happens like that.
Oh, wait, does the movie like acknowledge the other movies happened?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember that time we Marshmallow Man?
I believe so.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure. Or did they though? Shoot, man. Now I'm doubting myself, but I'm pretty sure they do a nod to the previous Ghostbusters. I feel like they even take they get the same place or a place similar to what they had before.
Okay.
But it was just messy. Chris Hemsworth's character, they made him like really dumb. So and don't get me wrong, he's the funniest thing of the whole movie, but he's just a dumb character. Like, he's literally stupid, right?
Yeah.
But the rest of it was like so bad, so terrible. And I was just like cringing, and I remember watching the movie and I was just like, yeah, it's got its funny bits, but a lot of it just felt so forced. And I just couldn't get myself to really like it or to say that I'm glad that I watched it. And anyway,
I wonder, because when I saw the trailer, and I'll admit, I haven't seen any of the Ghostbusters.
Blasphemy.
Right? So I'm probably not the target audience for that reboot because I didn't even watch the first ones, and I'm pretty sure it was good. It was just not part of my childhood, and I just haven't had the need to do it. At least I haven't seen it on like any of the streaming services to watch it. But when I saw this new one, I was like, there's a lot of questions like why are all female all of a sudden? Is this related to the old movies? Is it a new movie? And then I think it was like a mix of, it is a soft reboot, but it's not a reboot, and that just like turned me off because it was like just a deviation of something I haven't even watched. So it's like a
Yeah.
double whammy of not watching it.
That would make sense why you wouldn't want to watch it. But you know what's funny is that when the trailer for Afterlife came out, like, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Because I think it was supposed to come out in 2020. In the same trailer, they say that there hasn't been a ghost sighting in 30 years. And I thought that was really interesting because I'm like, okay, so this is a Ghostbusters movie. It's obviously going in the future from the original movies. And they're saying that there hasn't been a ghost sighting in so many years. So I'm like, this movie doesn't even acknowledge the all-female cast movie.
Wow.
And honestly, I was actually kind of happy about that. I'm like, good. Don't give him the satisfaction. Because it was, again, nothing against switching characters, genders from male to female to male, whatever. I think more power to them, I guess. But this movie was just bad. It like Amber said, it looked like it felt like a Saturday Night Live skit.
For 2 hours.
Yeah, for 2 hours, and I was just like, that is like the most accurate description of this movie.
gosh.
That's literally what it is. But so Amber and I, we went and saw the new Ghostbusters movie on Monday, a couple of days ago, and the movie's fantastic. I loved every aspect of it. It was not only nostalgic, but I felt like it had a really good story, and the cinematography was good, and they kept a lot of the old aura of the original movies, and so it truly feels like a sequel to Ghostbusters 2. So this is what I would consider to be Ghostbusters 3, but not obviously, technically speaking, not the third Ghostbusters movie. But I think this last one works really well, but I think the all-female cast did not work at all.
Did they say this new one is a trilogy? Are they going for that? I mean, does Afterlife kind of like set up for a sequel?
I don't know.
You don't want to spoil it?
I don't know.
Fair enough. Okay. That's like on
Yeah.
my what to watch list. I guess when it comes free, if it ever goes free.
You can borrow my Blu-ray for the original too if you want.
Nice. Was it
'Cause I
like
have 'em.
a double feature type of thing where it has like both movies on one disc?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
nice.
I think there's 2 discs, but it's like one package
Okay.
things. But yeah, you can borrow them if you want. Maybe we
Alright.
can revisit the Ghostbusters sequel stuff.
Yeah, we'll have to. Only exposure to Ghostbusters in recent memory is you have like a VR game for that. Like you go to like some kind of warehouse, and you wear proton packs and it's VR. It's like very immersive, which I'd like to try.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So you're in a room and it's like you're not tethered at all. Your backpack is the computer, and then you have a headset, and then
Huh.
you're blasting aliens in this game with like 3 other people.
Aliens, not ghosts.
Ghosts. Oh my gosh. Yeah. There you go. There's my
Same thing.
sleepiness talking.
Same thing. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, so moving on to movies that do work, like sequels that work.
Back to the Future. Which is weird though.
Yes.
I'm like slightly mixed, but it's a really good trilogy because they kind of take some of the first story arcs and then complete it in the second and the third, which is weird because the first movie was never meant to be like, it was supposed to end where it ended, right? And then because the way
Yeah.
the first movie ended was like, oh, there's a problem with your kids, and that's why they had to go to the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so in the second movie, they're going to the future, and so it created this whole like plot problem of like, why not just tell them there, and when they grow up and when it happens, tell them what to do. Not You don't have to travel to the future to take care of it. You just tell them what's gonna happen 20 years from now or whatever years from now. But because of how the ending of the first one was just more of like it was like throwaway lines, making it, you know, it was never meant to lead to a second or third movie, but for some reason they managed to take a second and third one, which was, yeah, I thought they were really good. It's one of my
Yeah.
top movies.
Really? Like
Yeah.
top 10?
Oh yeah, definitely top
Well,
10.
okay, but are you saying like out of your top 10, Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3 take 30% of that top 10 list? Or is it like the franchise takes a
I'd say the
place in the top
franchise.
10?
Yeah,
I see.
I have my own
I do.
ranking for obviously first movie, then the third. Actually, no, in that order: one, two, three.
Really?
The third one
So
is not, it's okay.
I actually like the third one the best.
The most, really.
Yeah. I don't know why. It probably is because I see Emmett dancing with that lady.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't know. There's something about the third one that I like, but there might be something.
You into
Uh,
westerns?
huh?
Are you a big fan of like westerns and stuff?
No,
Hmm.
I don't think I ever was. I mean, my dad was. He really likes westerns and all of that. Like I'm not saying that I didn't, but I don't think I was into it enough to like the third one. But something interesting is that when I was younger, I used to like the third movie in trilogies more than the original two. So like out of the Back to the Future movies, the third one's my favorite. But then if we go to like the original Star Wars movies, Return of the Jedi is my favorite. And
Oh.
if we look at the Indiana Jones movies, the third one is my favorite.
Which one's the third one again?
It's
Is that the
dang it, now I
Return
can't.
Crystal Skull, right? Is that
No, that's the fourth one, and that one sucked. We don't talk about Crystal Skull. The Last Crusade, that's what it's called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
with
the
Sean
one with
Connery.
the Oh no, I'm thinking Temple of Doom. No, Last Crusade is the chalices, right? The
Yes.
goblets. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the third one.
I get those confused because I'm thinking that last area there in the movie is I forgot what it's called. It's like an actual place, but and they had to get confused with the name because it's called Temple of Doom. It's
I
not
see what you're
related.
saying.
Yeah.
And even to follow up on that, the third Freddy Krueger movie was my favorite. The Weekend Warriors one, that used to be my favorite. I haven't seen it in a long time, and I've seen the first one a few times where I'm like, okay, the original is really good.
Is that the one
But
you were scared of with the faucets? No.
that's the third one.
Oh, the
Yeah,
one that scared you the most is your favorite?
yeah.
Really? Wow, okay.
I mean,
Interesting.
scary movies that scare me are the ones that I'm gonna like because they did its job.
That's true.
Which
I
is
did
why
like
I
Signs
like.
because that one scared me too.
Which one?
Signs. I mean, it's not a trilogy movie, but
Oh, yeah.
that movie legit made me scream in the movie, like out loud.
That's really funny.
The birthday part scene. That's
Oh yeah. Where the guy like
video
walks in
camera.
front of. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. I remember talking about this. Um. Yeah. Okay, so I actually have a few sequels that work. So let's go into. Or well, I don't know. Did you have something else to say about Back to the Future?
No, it's good.
Spider-Man. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2.
The third one though.
No. The second one. The first sequel to the original
Okay.
Spider-Man.
I guess the topic is it more of sequels in general, including 2s and 3s, or just singular sequels like 2s and. Because
All
if
of
we're
them.
talking about Spider-Man, because 3 was so bad because 2 existed. Does that make sense?
Wait, you think Spider-Man 3 was bad because Spider-Man 2 exists?
Yeah. because the second one came out, they had to make a third one to complete the trilogy, and because
But
they
you know
wanted to
there.
complete it, that third one ended up sucking.
But you, do you know? Do you know they were supposed to make four?
Well, oh wait, I think I remember hearing that. And they
And
crammed everything in the third one, right?
no, no. So there's actually a legit reason why the third one sucked.
Oh, okay.
But first, let me go into why Spider-Man 2 is really good. Cuz you got Spider-Man 1, which in itself it's a good movie. Like honestly, like I just rewatched all three of them. Like I'm watching all of the Spider-Man movies because No Way Home is about to come out and I just
I need to
you know,
borrow
we
those, by the way.
the huh?
I need to borrow those, by the way. Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 from you.
I rented them on YouTube.
Ah,
Sorry, bro. Sorry.
that's all good.
But anyway, so we've been watching the Spider-Man movies, and it really got me thinking. Like this is we're talking about this because this is like really fresh in my mind. But the original Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, it's a really good movie. I legitimately like the original. It sets up the pieces really well. It develops the characters really well. You understand why Peter Parker becomes Spider-Man in that movie. It's very accurate to an origin story for Spider-Man, and I believe that the original Spider-Man is what made other studios consider making a
Superhero
different
movies.
type of superhero
Yeah,
movies.
I agree.
Because we already had some, we had Superman. I think we already had like X-Men. I feel like there's something else going on, but like they're good movies, but they weren't like. It was missing something, and I think Spider-Man got that spark. Like it made it feel like a real, live superhero movie, something that could happen. I mean, I know we're talking about superheroes, right? But it just made it feel more natural. It made it feel more relatable. Like the character is relatable to us as a
Yeah,
viewer,
I
right?
agree. Yeah.
And we get that first movie, and it's great. And then the second one comes out, and again, rewatching it, and we watched it like 2 weeks ago. I actually really, really like that movie, like a lot. Um, there's you can see the connection. Well, first of all, the continuity from the first one to the second movie is superb. It's flawless. Um, the feelings going from the first one to the second one are all still there. Second, Doctor Octopus or Otto Octavius, um, his arc is also very well made. Like the fact that he's a scientist, he's got connections. Peter Parker gets like thrown in the mix. They create a good relationship, and then like when everything starts going wrong, Dr. Ock has good reasoning to do the things that he is doing, and Spider-Man has good reasons to try and stop him, which makes Doc Ock have good reasons to fight Spider-Man. So
He's a good
they're the heroes of their own story, right?
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know. It's just they don't do drastic changes. Nothing just comes out of like thin air, and I feel like a lot of sequels do that. A lot of sequels, they're like, oh, you know what, like we missed doing this in the first movie, so let's just throw it in the second movie, and then the second movie comes out and it's like, where did this come from? And an example of that would be the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and we can go into that in a minute. But yeah, with Doctor Octopus again and Spider-Man, and then the storyline, the side storyline with Harry Osborn, and then the storyline with Mary Jane, and the storyline as Peter Parker, not Spider-Man. Like it blends really well, and it like utilizes the first movie as a good, solid foundation for the Spider-Man 2. Um, for the Spider-Man. Yeah. Anyway, so I was like, I just really, really love that movie, and I'm really happy with it, and it's actually one of the reasons why I feel like a lot of people, including myself, are very excited to see Doc Ock come back in No Way Home.
Spoilers?
Wait, you knew this?
I knew it. Hey, you know what? Speaking
Wait,
of ants.
wait, hold on.
No. I already knew.
Okay.
But speaking of ants, we were watching. We got what show? But the sucky part is that they force you to watch those ads, and it's like so quick because they have like 30 seconds to show you like trailers. So then they blast everything towards you. Anyway, they showed the new Spider-Man trailer, and I was like, oh my gosh! Like within the first 3 seconds, it spoiled another thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't avoid it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I should just watch it at this point.
I mean, we can. What are the things that you know? I'll tell you if you should watch it.
I think I saw Willem Dafoe as oh my gosh, what's his name? The Green Goblin, Doc Ock.
Okay.
And I think I saw Green Goblin from Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
Which I haven't seen. I don't think I've
seen. Oh, you haven't seen The Amazing Spider-Man?
The second one, right? Is that with Jamie Foxx?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, the one with Jamie Foxx.
Okay. Is that also with Green Goblin? Or is that in the first one?
No, it's the second one.
Oh, okay. So that's what it spoiled. So what?
Is that it? That's all you know?
Yeah, that's all I know.
Okay, don't watch it.
Oh. I'm curious because I'd like to, we should do, when we do our live show, by the way, everybody.
Oh, that's
subscribe.
Right.
We're going to do a live show after we watch the new Spider-Man. So stay tuned for that one. But I'm curious to see the reactions from you who's seen the trailer compared to me who hasn't seen the trailer and the impact it has on our viewing experience.
That's right. So we're going to be doing a live show Friday afternoon. So we're doing a morning show to avoid a lot of screaming
and clapping.
Yeah, so that's my reason for it. I loved going to movie premieres midnight or like the night before or whatever. But with when Star Wars came out, The Force Awakens, and Han Solo came up on screen, and everybody started screaming and crying and clapping for like 2 minutes straight, and things were going on in the movie, and I could not hear what they were saying, and it. I mean, yeah, maybe I'm getting old, but it like annoyed me, and I was like, I feel the same emotion. I just don't feel the need to scream for 2 minutes.
No, I agree. That would annoy me.
And like it happened with Infinity War. It happened with Endgame.
I do love the idea of watching it with other people because you get hyped up with everyone. There's a reason why there's the audience reaction videos on the Avengers movies.
Right.
Have you seen those, right? Because
like,
it's exciting,
yeah.
But if it goes on for 2 minutes and it affects the rest of the movie, no need. There's no need for that.
I think if there was just quick reactions, I would be totally fine with it. Right. I love the hype. I really do. I've embraced it. I used to think I was too cool for it, but I embraced the hype. It's why I watched the trailers and why I did a live stream on this channel for the trailer reveal. I was super hyped, and I still am hyped for the movie. But there's a limit as to like how much I can handle. I can't control what other people are doing around me. And so this is a movie that I want to enjoy, and I want to be able to absorb as much as I can from it, which is why we made the decision to go watch it Friday morning instead, so that we minimize the amount of people that will be there, because most kids are still going to be in school. And people that go, whether they're younger or older, I don't think that they will be overly loud.
Hopefully.
But I digress. We're going to be doing a live show Friday afternoon. I believe we're going to be joined by Cinema Fan.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Connor's going to be joining us again.
Yes.
Sharing his
thoughts. To talk about the movie. If you don't know who he is, you can follow him on Instagram at the Cinema Fan.
Or right? You can watch one of our previous podcasts.
That's right. We do talk.
Hopefully, we can get a link on here, a card to show up.
I'll make a note of this.
Time code.
Yeah. Go watch this. We talk a lot with him. We've talked about Marvel stuff before, and we talked about other movies and whatnot. So I'm really excited to have him back in the podcast for the live show.
Unrelated but related. Have you seen Hawkeye yet?
I've seen the first 2 episodes.
It didn't really appeal to me. I don't know.
Really?
I haven't seen it yet. I think the last Marvel thing we watched was Shang-Chi. And that was actually really good.
Have you seen Venom 2?
Venom 2. No, not yet.
Have you seen the first Venom?
Yes.
Okay.
Do I need to watch the Venom 2?
No, you don't.
Okay. Because I thought they were going to keep those separate. From what I read, the whole Spider-Man Venom universes are going to be separate.
I mean, they are ish. Have you seen the Eternals?
No. You?
Really?
Did you see that?
Yeah, we went and saw it, and
verdict?
Okay, I don't know if this is going to be controversial to our viewers or not, but I didn't like it.
That's what I heard. A lot of people don't like it because there's just a lot of talking.
It's hard. 'Cause I don't dislike it. I don't hate the movie. I don't dislike it, but I don't like it either. Does that make sense?
No, yeah.
It's not a bad movie, but it's not like the movie's like over 2 hours, and I feel like too many things happened and nothing happened at the same time. And I know it's supposed to be part of the MCU, but it felt disconnected from its own universe. And I had a friend that told me that it's its own, like it's starting their own it's just a separate branch of the MCU, right? Like because it is in the same universe.
Yeah.
And like I get that. I actually understand what he meant by that, and I knew that this was gonna happen. I knew that the Avengers that we know are eventually gonna stop because actor contracts and whatnot. But then newcomers come in, which is what Hawkeye is supposedly doing. It's what the Eternals is doing. It's what Shang-Chi is doing. Shang-Chi. Sorry, I have a hard time with that name. And so that's why we have all these new movies coming out, because they're introducing the new characters. Anyway, Eternals felt a little too out there, even from within its own universe, with things happening that I'm like, this makes no sense. And this is based on an MCU film. If you just have the film by itself and you're like, hey, this is the Eternals and that's it, this is what you get, and it has no connection to anything else, I would be like, it's a good movie. Like, it's fun, it's entertaining. But the fact that it is connected to the MCU and there's like references and stuff like that, it kind of brought down some points for me.
Felt forced.
Hi, kitty.
Felt forced.
I wouldn't say forced. It's just, I don't know.
I think it's because you knew the intention. Like when you hear the references, you're like, oh, they're trying to make a new thing. I think that's the same thing with like the all-female Ghostbusters. Like you kind of could see the intention they were trying to You know.
Maybe. And you know what? That could be accurate. I think I had heard already that, the reviews were really bad. I think it had the lowest reviews on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, but this is
Eesh.
based off of critics, not the public. With a
Okay.
movie like this, I wanted to have my own opinion, but based on what I had heard, I went with low expectations and I was still disappointed.
Dang,
but
that's when you know it's bad.
but but I was disappointed for different reasons from the critics. The critics were criticizing like the progressiveness of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
or at least that's what I saw a lot of. Like the articles that I saw, that were criticizing the movie because that it was bad. It was because they were making all these references that woe is he and she or whatever. But I didn't feel like it was doing that. I didn't feel like it was throwing anything in your face. I thought it was like that aspect of the movie was well made. There's just other things that I was like, this. It had so many like slow motion parts, and then just like
Like 300.
shots. Yeah, and it had so many shots that were like very beautifully cinematic, but it didn't really match the rest of the movie. And so it was like, ooh, we're gonna go and we see this like pretty scene, and then like 2 seconds later we're in this like TV show kind of thing. Like the shots just felt different, the atmosphere felt different, and so that's what took me out of the movie experience. I didn't like it because of those reasons. Um. Anyway, what we were talking about?
Sequences or sequels that work and sequels that don't work.
Oh, right.
Alien 1, 2, and 3.
Ooh.
Like this is like Alien 2 is a good example of taking it to a new direction. Where you have,
and it works.
right? Alien 1 is horror, Alien 2 is action,
Mm-hmm.
and then Alien 3 is crap.
I agree, 100%. And I was waiting to see what you were gonna say about that.
Oh my gosh. I was
Yeah.
dreading watching that because we had family members access to their got some account with other movies. I was like, oh, perfect. Let's watch all the aliens. And I knew going in that the third one's the worst one. So I was like, 1, 2. And then I was like telling Brittany, I was like, we should just skip 3. She's like, no, I want to know the story. I'm like, ooh, it's not worth it.
So bad. It's so bad.
So bad.
Is the third one the one that's called Resurrected? Or is
No,
that the fourth?
one's the fourth one.
That's the fourth one.
That's the one
And
that's better than the third one.
I agree. I remember liking the Resurrected.
I think that
as
was my
like
first
a
exposure to Alien, actually, the franchise.
that. Oh, really?
Yeah. When the
No,
movie
mine
came
was-
out, my mom took us to it.
Mine was the second one because my dad would let us watch those movies when we were kids.
Mm.
So, yeah, I don't like the third one. It just was something that it wasn't supposed to be.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because there's a first and the second, they think they have to make a third one. And so the third one sucks.
So yeah, so going back to Spider-Man 3 then,
Yeah.
because you were saying that you thought that the third one sucked because it's like, well, now we have to make a trilogy, and the third one just tends to suck. So, with the original Spider-Man movies, there was supposed to be a fourth one. But before we get to the fourth one, when the third one was being written, Sam Raimi, the director, he told the studio that he wasn't familiar with Venom. He told the studio that he wanted to focus on Sandman, and Sandman was supposed to be the main bad, with Harry Osborn becoming a secondary bad guy.
Okay.
In this scenario, it makes sense that Harry would be the second bad guy because of the stories of Spider-Man 1 and 2, and Sandman makes sense that he would be like the main villain. But the studio kept pushing for Venom, And they're like, no, we need to give the fans what they want, and the fans want Venom. We need to give them Venom. And then Sam Raimi is like, I don't know Venom. I don't understand the character, so I'd rather not do it. But eventually he caved, and he had to add Venom.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Which is why the movie sucked. He felt like he was trying to work with something that he didn't quite understand. He felt like it was more of like the productions, like the
Studios.
the studios like say instead of his own say. So like his vision as a director gets a little lost, you know. And I get that because Sam Raimi, I think he's a great director. I mean, he directed all the like Evil Dead and Army of Darkness movies, and you can tell if you're familiar with those movies, his style of directing is very similar. It's why the scene in Spider-Man 2 where the Doctor Octopus is on the table with all the other nurses and stuff like that, it's like a scary movie. That sequence is like 4 minutes of just suspense, you know. Anyway, the third movie sucked because the studio had a bigger say in the story.
It got a little cheesy at points too.
Oh yeah, that too.
Like the one point, like there was a point in the movie where he's like, I think it's the final battle, right? Saving MJ in the taxi, and so he's running on this rooftop, and then you have the giant American flag behind it. That was that moment I was like, oh my goodness, this is too much.
It threw me off too, honestly. When I saw that shot again, I was just like, well, what? Like, why?
Right?
Nothing against the flag and nothing against having patriotism or anything of that sort, but it just felt out of place.
Yeah.
It wasn't the right place for that to be there.
Like, if the theme of the movie was like rights, civil rights, or, you know, what the flag stands for, then it would make sense. But you have a movie about sand people, black goo. Nothing to do with like freedom
and betrayal, because his best friend betrays him basically.
Right?
Yeah, it felt a little out of place. It also felt out of place that he had an audience. Like he's fighting these people, and there's all these all the public gathered like that at the bottom, and then you have the reporter just saying like, oh, this is so hard to see, oh no, what's he gonna do now? And it's just like, what are you even doing there? Like, get out of there. I don't like it.
My dad likes to call it Hollywood, the Hollywood effect. Like the movies where they do when something good happens and then the whole room cheers, or they do like the hand high-fiving at the end of the movie or whatever. Oh man, Hollywood.
So, the fourth Spider-Man movie, if it had happened, Spider-Man's villain was gonna be the Vulture. And there's a video on YouTube that you can probably find it real quick. I mean, you, the viewer, not you, Gabe. I mean, unless you want to watch it, that's fine. But it talks about like all the pieces that we have from that movie and what we know would have happened if it was the case. And I guess it was gonna start with Spider-Man arresting the Rhino, Mysterio, someone else, and then the Vulture was gonna be like the main bad guy. Which is
3 bad guys?
Huh?
Or 4? Or the Sinister Six?
But like the first few, it was more of like an intro to the movie. It was just like Spider-Man's been arresting all of these bad guys. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he's gonna fight him throughout the movie. It was just the one bad guy. But it was just like part of the story, like, oh, Spider-Man's been like capturing all these like villains. But I thought that was interesting because throughout the trilogy, We have Dr. Connors, which is the lizard.
Don't know.
What? The lizard? Okay. So from
lizard.
the Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Okay.
Okay.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
In the Amazing Spider-Man, he's just a doctor that works at Oscorp. In the Sam Raimi movies, Dr. Connors was a professor, and he was like Toby or Peter Parker's teacher. And you can even see him like without his arm in like Spider-Man 2 and 3. And so I would have expected him to be the bad guy in Spider-Man 4, because we already have a lot of history with him throughout all three movies, and I'm like, that would be really cool if he's the next bad guy, because he's been developed since the first movie. But anyway, Spider-Man 4.
I'm getting confused with the Vulture from Homecoming and Birdman, because it's the same actor.
Because it's the same actor.
Oh,
yeah.
Geez. Okay.
I keep calling him the Birdman, but I know it's the Vulture.
Yeah. Nah, I need to rewatch it all. Jeez.
Are you gonna rewatch him before the movie comes out?
Yeah. I don't know how we're gonna watch the Sam Raimi ones. We do have the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. But
I have the original Spider-Man on DVD, and it's full screen. Yeah, that's what I would expect you. That's the face I expected you to make. Yeah, we didn't want to watch it like that, so we just rented it.
Dang. There you go. Like a true moviegoer.
We have Amazing Spider-Man 2 to watch, and then we're going to start the Tom Holland movies.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We should watch that. Interesting. All right. Movies that don't work.
With the sequels.
Matrix. I think we talked about this one already. But the first one was so good. And then the second and the third introduced new ideas, which related to the first one. But then it's the same problem where you have to take the super strong, hero who's like level 100 in the first movie, and then now he's like level 10 in like the second and third. He suddenly sucks and doesn't have all these good powers that he has in the first movie. Because
I don't. Wait, no, go ahead.
Because it presents the problem of how do you take Neo, who's like, he's like flying at the end, can stomp bullets and all that stuff. How do you make conflict if he is the super powerful person now? And so now the second movie starts and he's like suddenly sucky. You know what I mean?
I don't remember the second or third one.
Exactly.
Like I remember parts of it. Like I mean, if you show me a scene, I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that. But I don't remember a lot.
The second one with the highway scene, which was good. And then the third one where you have like the giant robot battle at Zion.
Is that where the robot battle was?
That's the third one, yeah.
Where they like start to break in through the roof or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're like shooting, and there's a guy with the ammo carts and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing I remember of the third one. So that probably means I don't remember anything from the second one.
Yeah. We're ready for the fourth one, since we just recently watched 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, so you're gonna go see the fourth one? It's already out, isn't it?
Is it?
I thought it was. We're gonna click and see.
What? It's already out? I didn't even know. Interesting. Well, guess I'll have to watch that another time. Dang.
Wait, so it did come out. When did it come out?
Let me see. December. Oh wait, no, it's not out yet. December 22nd.
Oh, okay. So it's not out yet. Okay.
I'm looking at showtimes, and I thought they were for this week, but it's for the 22nd.
You can watch it after the podcast.
Which one? Matrix.
Oh, yeah. So we can go watch No Way Home.
That's true.
And then we can do the podcast, and then you can go back to the movies and watch Matrix 4. And then we'll do another podcast based on Matrix.
My brain is just gonna be blown.
Yeah, it might not be the best idea.
The Dark Knight, I would say the second's the best one.
That is definitely by far one of the best sequels.
Yep.
It's a good movie on its own.
My ranking is the second, third, and then the first.
Really, you like the third one more than the first one?
The first one was just, cause it's weird, because I remember watching the second one, then I watched the third one, and I was like, oh, I should probably watch the first one. So I watched the first one, and it doesn't have the same quality as the second and third. Like, I get that it's an origin story, and it's not as bombastic as the second and third. And then it's weird because I saw the villain. Maybe it's because I saw the second and third. I knew the villains. And then I saw the villain for the first one. I was like, Scarecrow? It's like a random villain. So it was like not as... So I guess you could say I watched it in the wrong order. Because it went from like high, then really high, and then went back down to the low one.
To the first one, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked all of them. I think I liked The Dark Knight, then the original, like Batman Begins, and then the third one. No hate for it. I just really liked the original. I thought it was out of like most origin stories, I think Batman Begins is a pretty good one. I think it goes into really good depth into the character and how he became Batman. The third one was a little odd, but I think part of it might have been also just the fact that Heath Ledger wasn't with us anymore.
What do you was he really supposed to be with the third one?
I mean, I thought so.
Like, I don't see Bane and Joker working together, unless they were meant to be like enemies amongst the other, like a free-for-all type thing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not for a big role, but it would have been nice to have him there. I don't know. I feel like I don't know.
You know what I mean? Because just imagine like Bane talking to Joker. That'd just be weird. You know.
Isn't Bane one of the Joker's henchmen in like the original Batman?
Oh yeah, that's true. The cartoons, yeah, that is true.
I think I remember seeing that. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. But I think the Joker, like, or maybe it's Two-Face.
No, I think Bane. You're right. I just remember, just from the cartoon, where Batman like slices off one of his tubes, and he like that's how he dies or whatever.
Wait, who? Cartoon. Bane?
Yeah.
Bane dies in the cartoons?
Maybe not dies, but like his muscles disappear because apparently he had all this steroids going through his body.
I'm not gonna lie. I remember watching the Batman movies when I was a kid, but I don't remember anything.
Oh, sorry. I meant the TV show.
Oh.
The animated series.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh. The animated series.
Yeah.
Like I used to watch it, but I don't remember anything from it.
That's like a famous... It's funny because they replicated it multiple times. Like when they had a newer Batman series, like they just did the same exact thing with Bane's death, I guess you could say.
Well, one thing I did like about that one is Batman getting his back broken.
That was like the comics.
Yeah.
Which was good.
Like, yeah. Like, I remember that being a thing, and I was like, oh, they did it! I can't believe they actually did it. Like, I was just, like, kind of in shock from that.
I'll admit it didn't look the best when they filmed it. I mean, for safety reasons, obviously.
Right.
Like, when they did, I was like, oh, That didn't look like he broke his back. It looked like he just gently laid on his knee like Santa Claus and then dropped him. But once again, obviously, for safety.
Yeah.
Just like this bothers me in every... Now that I know, I took like the CPR class. CPR? Yeah, CPR. And every time like any actor or TV show does CPR, it's always so wrong.
I've noticed
they do
that
it so
too.
softly. Which you have to, because you don't want to like break their sternum, but it's one of those things. Just like revolvers that make clicky sounds when you remove the cylinder.
On that note, and just to go on a bit of a tangent, but Breaking Bad,
yeah,
actually is pretty accurate to the medical stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised about that.
Did you watch that Mythbusters episode?
The Breaking Bad episode on Mythbusters? I'm sure I did, but I don't think I remember it.
I think the only thing that they got wrong was the acid, hydrochloric acid, where it disintegrates a body. Doesn't really do that.
I think I remember that. But oof, you know what? I know there's somebody that watches our podcast that hasn't seen the show, and I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah. But they have some, I mean, we don't. So there's drugs and stuff. But
blue drugs that make them into zombies. Which is the prequel to The Walking Dead.
Oh, that's how it happens? But yeah, no, apparently it's like very accurate medically, so I thought that was like, it's cool. I like it. I appreciate it when TV shows will actually go into detail on how things actually work in the real life, and not just do it for the heck of it, just for show. Oh, yeah. But yeah, these are some good choices. So if you've made it this far, did we talk about the movies that you commented about?
Yeah.
Or if not, still let us know what movies you think have good sequels and what movies don't have good sequels. And let us know why. Let us know in the comment section below.
And while you're down there, feel free to like and subscribe. And feel free to dislike if you want to, because now that the dislike bar is gone, no one will know.
No, we will, so don't. I don't want my feelings hurt. Just give us likes.
I don't think we're meant for the internet if we don't like dislikes.
That's right. But only dislike it if you truly disliked it.
Yeah.
Well, alrighty then.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Stay tuned.
This was fun.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.